Hey, it's Deborah, and it is lovely outside. So even though I'm staring right into the sun, I am gonna stay out here because these days are precious, right? So when it gets a little chillier, I tend to go inside a little bit more often. Dog next door doesn't like being by himself, but we're going to go right through it. So we're going to talk today about stabilization, not a plank, which is the go-to, but we're going to talk about what is referred to as single leg marching and who should do it, who should do which choice. And this is showing up, it's in a number of my programs. So anyone who purchased the whole flip when it was DVDs, or the whole flip, which is now a digital product in the core section, or DVD if you bought it while it was still there. This is actually one of the featured pieces, and the reason is this: if you can't do this kind of work, the chance that you're going to successfully have benefit from doing a different kind, like a plank, is very small. So we're going to get started. What I want you to do is to lie down on your back, and I'm gonna move my arms up and out of the way. I want you to tuck your lower back down into the floor. So if you'll remember or review back to other videos, I did a pelvic tilt a couple videos back, pressing the lower back down, tailbone up, but trying to do it from contraction of the core as opposed to pushing through my feet. So it's much more about just drawing in and releasing, and drawing in and releasing, and then go ahead and just release that out. But what I want you to do is to kind of get that feeling. Now, if your hands are here, so the heel of your palm on your hip bone and your fingertips just kind of resting on your pubic bone just for a second. If you're at level, kind of at neutral, your hands would be parallel to the floor. And if you're actually pressing that lower back down, the heel of my hand should be a little bit lower. So I'm dramatically increasing this way. And if you actually lift the lower back up and take your pelvis down, your hand should be this way. So you're looking for kind of feeling that lower back down. So we call that make an imprint. And that's the best way for you to begin. Now later, those of you as you progress, you can maintain neutral and do this entire exercise that way without moving, going into flexion or extension, but holding this neutral. And that actually is more challenging, but until you can hold it with your lower back down, probably it's too soon to go on and hold it at neutral. So I want you to go here, lower back down, make sure you're breathing. So remember, ribs, lung cage, all up here. This is your core. They're not related. You should be able to breathe nice and easily. So what I want you to do is to put your knee at 90 degrees. They're both going to stay at 90 degrees. And all we're going to do is lift and lower. So we're going to go to 15 of each. Now, watch what I'm doing. So I'm looking, as I look in the phone, it's like looking in the mirror for me, right? So when I come up, the temptation is to bring that knee in a little bit further. But what I want to do is to be at 90 degrees, because if I'm at just 90, I have to work to keep that lower back down. If I come in here, it presses my back down. You'll feel it if you just take that extra couple of inches. It's like, yeah, lower back is down super easy here. If I'm here, I actually still consciously have to be contracting and bringing it down. So we're going to keep going, but I want you to watch and observe yourself. If you have a mirror, try it. Or when we're done here, film yourself on your phone or have somebody do it for you. And you can also just play, put your hands up and don't let yourself go any further than that, and kind of gauge that way. All right, so I've been talking, cueing a lot, but not so much moving, but I want you to check in with your lower back. So you should still, across on the right and left sides of your low back, feel like you're solid and you're staying down the entire time. So you're not allowing anything to come up. So good, and keep going, good. And then we'll do one more set, just right and left, and that's 15. Right, left, 1, right, left, 2. So shake that out a little bit. if you felt like that was challenging, like I thought looking at it is not challenging, but then when you're doing it yourself, you can actually feel there's a little bit of work going on. So even I'm an 8-time Ironman. I've been doing this for 40 years. I've probably been doing some variation of this exercise for 30, right? I still feel that. It's still a go-to if I'm driving all day. I'll do this at the end of the day. If I'm having to stand all day, I'll do this at the end of the day because it's a great release. Now, if that wasn't challenging for you, this is the next place that you go. So ordinarily you wouldn't necessarily do these all at once, but what I want you to do is this now. So same concept, but what we're going to do is raise up. Now 1 foot down, 1 foot down. We're still doing all the things. 90 degrees at your knees, 90 degrees constantly through. So it's like a hinge at your hips. You're not changing the hinge at the knee at all, and lower down. And all the while, the lower back stays on the ground and down. So feeling here, no wiggling, hips aren't moving up and down, you're not flexing and extending, you're just staying right there, nice and solid. Good. And consciously, I'd like you to focus up here just for a second. Make sure you're keeping your shoulders down and relaxed. It is really easy, unfortunately, to, when you put your hands down, we tend to strain through the neck unconsciously and don't realize we're doing it. Lift and down and down. So focus a little bit more. Keep that lower back down, and you can feel that it's a little bit harder. You have to focus. Now, and the first one may have been really easy for you, right? But here, you don't have that foot on the ground right now. So we've removed that, so your core has to now pick up the slack, literally. And bring it up and lower and down. Good, come on up, lift up, lower down, and again up, lower down, and down, up, and up, lower down, and down, lift up. Good, keep that tension. And then relax, shake that out. Good. Now you can build up a little tension in those hip flexors. So if you do, just to shake that out and open it back up to a straight, push up. And if you're a little bit tight through the hip flexors or through the fronts of your quadriceps, maybe you did some squats yesterday, lunges, this you'll feel. And then relax. Now the third one, and of course we're progressing, having done the full set, the second set, and now doing a third set. Ordinarily you might just choose, this is the one I need to do, and you'll only do it. So you won't have that kind of accumulated fatigue. Hands come out to the side. But in this one, we start here. This is your starting position. So you check in, is my lower back down? And if it's not, the answer is not raise the legs in. It's potentially you take the hands underneath you, but I don't love that again, because we go here. What I'd rather have you do is say, I'm not ready for that one yet, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the other one. Okay, so lower back should be down here, and what we're going to do is lower down and up, and lower down and up. So no base of support whatsoever, and as that one leg is touching, you're still across the back, making sure that you're nice and solid and nice and down. Now, I'm talking while I'm doing this, and that's my insurance that I'm still breathing in and out. No breath holding. So you don't need to. It's not going to help, and in fact makes it actually worse, because you're probably falsely creating this sense of, oh, this is so great, it's such work. Okay, but it should be fairly easy, and just feeling like, yes, I'm so aware of what my core is right now, right? And down and up. Nice. Now, I'm not exact on the number. You probably are counting better than I am. So I'm going to call this 8 and down. And then 9, check in again with your knees. So they're at 90 degrees the whole time. And up. Good. 10. Come up. And you got 5 more, but check in. Is your lower back still staying down? It's nice and firm right here. You're not allowing it to lift up at all. You should be feeling like Okay, yeah, there's some tension here, okay, but you're still breathing. Your neck is relaxed. Nice job. Lower. And again, come up. Nice job. Up. Take it down and tap. And again, good. Lower down and up. Keep that lower back on the ground and up. Good. And release. Take both legs down. Nice. And because you've done 3 in a row here, I am going to have you come up. So lifting up, whenever you're up here in this bridge, by the way, you don't want your knees to sway out to the side. It means that you're probably just a little bit tighter here, but also mostly that your inner thighs are just loose. We need them strong. So point downhill, right in alignment with your hips, should be your knees, and that should be going right over your toes. So weight's on the heels, not on the toes. Otherwise, you're feeling that jamming probably into your knee joint. And relax. Good, and that's it. You might want to straighten those legs out, just shake your hips out, and that's been a great stabilization for you, especially if you stayed with me all 3 from the beginner or starting space, moving to intermediate, and then a little bit more advanced. And when you can do 15 at right, left 1, right, left 2 at each of those spaces, or at 1, you're ready to move up to a more difficult. So that old idea of doing dozens and dozens or hundreds and hundreds being better, it's really not. You've gotten all the benefit out of 15, and now we know you're ready for something different and a little bit more challenge. So let me know how you did on that one, and I will see you on the flip side.